Hello, you're watching Sister Talk TV show, and I'm your host, DIETRA KELSEY. We're back in the studio only for a limited time, though. We're testing it out. But there's been a lot of stuff, that's a good word, going on since we've been back. We were back about 3 weeks ago. But it's been a lot going on, and here to discuss it with me is Star Davis. Hey, my sister friend, Star Davis.
Thank you for having me back.
Crew member, always a call away.
Biggest fan of Sister Talk.
Yeah, I'm the biggest fan of you too. UCAN Magazine.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a blow away, you know.
Do that. Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So what's happening with UCAN?
With UCAN, you know what? UCAN has been on a COVID hiatus.
Right.
Things are changing so much. I can't even talk. Things are changing so much and so fast, but we are going to come out with a new issue because people have been asking for one.
Yeah, so. I think this was a good time to pause and really reflect. What's the next level?
Yeah, we've paused. We paused for a bit.
Yeah, we paused also. We paused for a bit. But hey, we're going to dive into it because, like I said, we have so much to talk about. The debates, COVID, unemployment, health care. We're going to talk about the alleged kidnapping, not the alleged kidnapping, but the alleged plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Ouch. I mean, this is crazy.
That was crazy.
That is so crazy. Also, Breonna Taylor, our thoughts on that. And also, you know, when it airs on YouTube or Facebook, please tell us what you think about it also. So let's just go ahead and start. Let's start with the debate, the first debate.
Oh.
Okay, we'll start with Biden and Trump. You know, I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what the topics were.
Are we allowed to say shit show?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, then if we're allowed to say that, then that's exactly what it was.
Yes, what it was.
A great big shit show.
That was something else. I mean, they were arguing back and forth. I thought, Chris Matthews? Was that
Chris Wallace.
Chris Wallace. I thought that Chris Wallace was going to go up on stage and say, wait a minute now.
But you know what? If he did, he would have been like totally within reason to do that, because that was unlike anything that has ever occurred ever in a debate stage.
You know what really got me was everybody was blaming him that he lost control of it. I think he did the best he could because he did not have the control to cut the mic off.
Right.
He did not have the control to go to commercial.
Right.
He really didn't have the control to go up there because of the virus. Everybody had to stay a certain feet away, 6 feet away. Mm-hmm. But what did you think about the debate overall?
No, totally agree with you as far as his performance goes. Mm-hmm. He was very limited. And the both campaigns had agreed to a certain format through the debate.
Yeah.
So he went in there, you know, talking about Chris Wallace again, he went in there thinking, okay, it's going to be under a certain amount of control. It's going to be, you know, a presidential debate.
Did Trump team con the networks? Did Trump team con Chris Wallace saying everything's going to be good? We're going to follow the rules?
Probably. I mean, that's what they do. They lie about everything. And then they accuse everybody else of doing what it is that they do themselves all the time.
Yeah.
So they lie about something, they cover it up, and then they say that somebody else has lied about it.
Right.
They just anything. They're the biggest hypocrites.
It started off pretty good. Trump did say that I was elected legally. I said, okay, it's calm.
But even that was in a way a slap in the face because he didn't win the popular vote. So to say, well, I was elected legally is, you know, that's still insulting. That's rubbing salt into an old wound.
Well, I think it is. He did not win the popular vote, but we have to really look at it. Legally, he did win.
He was elected.
He was elected. So it started off like that, whether we agree or not. It started off like that. Then it just went into like a blender. Everything was just twirling around. I just thought it was going to be a knockout. Somebody was going to fight. And I was pretty surprised that Joe Biden said, man, will you shut up?
Oh, I loved it. I was
thought
ready for the
that-
popcorn.
I
I think I put on some Jiffy Pop when he said
I
that.
thought I was really, a lot of people said, I loved it.
And when he called him a clown, that was my other, because that's my name for Trump, is the clown in the White House. So when Biden called him that, I got a laugh off of that one.
We're going to go to the video. Be right back. It's going to just show a little bit of highlights of what happened during that time. Let's go.
President America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
question is no.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
That
get rid of
is
the-
absolutely not true.
So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State.
You're going to have true. Gentlemen, I hate to raise my voice, but I see it seems to be, why shouldn't I be different than the two of you?
Vote now.
You're gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't wanna
you're a
answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a lot
is
of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justices,
the
radical
question-
left.
Will you
Who
shut
is
up,
on,
man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
One of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
Not what you've said,
But
and it's not what
that
your party
is-
has said.
that is simply
Your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your
That
party
is
wants to
simple.
go socialist
My
medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
Right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. Everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just
agree.
want to
Hey,
make
Joe,
sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
There is no manifesto. Number
Please
one.
let him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
two.
You just lost the left.
Number two.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan that's
folks,
absolutely
folks,
agreed
do you
to,
have any
and under that
idea
plan,
what
you have
this clown's
socialized, they
doing?
call it. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
for
wasn't dishonorably
cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
He
My
made a
son,
fortune.
my son,
and he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why
I'm
was he
proud of
given
my
tens
son.
of millions
All right.
of
But he
dollars?
wasn't given
All right.
tens of millions
He was
of dollars.
given
That
tens
is
of
totally.
millions of
That's
President
totally.
Trump, but are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm willing
prepared
to do that,
specifically
but
do it?
Well,
I
go
would
ahead,
say,
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists
Who
and
would
white
you like me to
supremacists.
condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right wing
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
Wow, stand by, what do you say, stand back and stand by. You're watching Sister Talk TV show, and we're talking about the debate, Trump and Biden right now. Star, I know you were making comments during the video. What do you have to say?
Trump is just he's such a hypocrite. So I can't, and I don't want to sound like it's just my personal opinion because I think at this point it's a fact. He talks about, well, you didn't go to Delaware State, but meanwhile, you didn't show your grades. He didn't show his grades. So everything he attacks people for doing, he does himself.
But
and it's hard to take him seriously.
Well,
with
let's
it.
get real. What about Biden's comeback? You know, it just seemed like he was really distracted by his attacks. It just really threw him off. You know, so he could not come back and really defend himself. Only time that he did when he was looking straight at the camera, when he talked about his son.
I think if anything, Joe Biden was incredibly poised throughout all of that. And you know, let's be clear, I am not the biggest Joe Biden supporter. My vote for Joe Biden is more.
I'm not a big Joe Biden supporter either. Just
you know,
I'm not going to leave you hanging out there by yourself.
My vote for Joe Biden is more a vote against Trump.
Lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, for me to give him a compliment, I think is hard for me.
Okay.
But I think he was very poised, especially when Trump was attacking his son.
Yeah.
You know, like he has a son who passed away, and then here comes typical Trump again,
right,
saying,
right.
"Oh, but you know, your son didn't have a job until you became vice president." But meanwhile, now Bob Woodward, who wrote that book, said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, it was Michael Bolton who wrote another book on the Trump White House." Said he thought Jared Kushner was the most powerful man in the White House. So for Trump to say to Biden, "Oh, but your son didn't have a job until you became vice president," well, your son-in-law Trump's son-in-law is described as the most powerful man in the White House.
So he's making all the decisions and so forth.
I don't know about all the decisions, but he's involved in a lot of stuff that he really does not have the credentials to be involved in, other than being Trump's son-in-law.
Okay.
So
you know what's really crazy about this? That again, everything was so lost. I know the moderator was trying to talk about the unemployment, COVID, race relations, and all that. And that was disappointing to me because I didn't get to hear any of that. I didn't get to hear a plan. All I got was attack. And I will say this again. I was surprised with Joe Biden's comeback because I'm thinking, is he going to be like that to other people outside the United States or dignitaries and all that, you know, when they get into an argument and so forth? Is he going to get frazzled like that?
I would just give him the benefit of the doubt. Who expects a head of state, a president of the United States, to behave in the way that Trump did? So I think Biden actually was incredibly composed and poised throughout the onslaught that he was getting from Trump.
You know, but I'm a DC girl. So I've watched Biden grow. And with Biden, I mean, he was subdued. Now, he wasn't really subdued, but I've watched a young Biden. And Biden can get down. He can throw down. So I thought you okay,
but he's old now.
Yeah,
he's
old
not young
now.
Biden anymore. He's old Biden.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Zakkee? Okay, so we have to move on to
A more
calm debate.
worthwhile topic.
Kamala Harris
Okay.
and Pence. I thought that was calm. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was too calm.
Too calm that you
Yeah.
were sleeping.
Almost. It was almost a snooze fest. I mean, I think they were trying so hard to be unlike the first presidential debate that they went overboard, and then it was too subdued. It was
Subdued, yeah.
It was a snooze fest.
Well, they did talk about COVID. You know what got me was Kamala Harris. She started off the debate saying that he inherited a good economy and talked about he's the most destructive or disastrous president in history. And so forth. I was like, whoa. And she was very calm, very cool. And really, I don't like these memes about her, the black woman and all that. I mean, come on. You know, I would go with Joe Biden, you know, the volatile white man, if you want to go with that, you know. So I thought she handled herself very well. Let's go to a video. This video is about the highlights of Kamala Harris and Pence, Vice President Pence.
Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. On January 28th, the vice president and the president were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They knew what was happening and they didn't tell you. Can you imagine if you knew on January 28th, as opposed to March 13th, what they knew, what you might have done to prepare?
China is to blame for the coronavirus. And President Trump is not happy about it. He's made that very clear, made it clear again today. Quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating new PPE, developing a vaccine. It looks a little bit like plagiarism.
If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it, absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Senator, please
Thank you, Vice
stop
President
undermining
Pence.
confidence in a vaccine.
The truth and the fact is, Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000
He said he's
a
going to
year.
repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. The west coast of our country is burning, including my home state of California. I served, when I first got to the Senate, on the committee that's responsible for the environment. Do you know this administration took the word science off the website and then took the phrase climate change off the website?
We don't need a massive $2 trillion Green New Deal that would impose all new mandates on American businesses and American families.
Thank
Let me
you,
also
Vice
say,
President Pence.
the
Vice
American
President
people
Pence,
deserve, Susan,
Vice
the
President
American
Pence,
people deserve
I didn't,
to know.
Vice President Pence, I did not, excuse me,
Susan, the
I did
American
not
people
create
deserve
the
to know
rules for tonight.
Joe Biden
Your
and
campaigns agreed to the rules for tonight's debate with the Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm here to enforce them.
We are talking about an election in 27 days, where last week the President of the United States took a debate stage in front of 70 million Americans and refused to condemn white supremacists.
Not true.
And
Not true.
it wasn't like he didn't have a chance. He didn't do it, and then he doubled down.
This presumption that you hear consistently from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that America is systemically racist, and that, as Joe Biden said, that he believes that law enforcement has an implicit bias against minorities, is a great insult to the men and women who serve in law enforcement. And I want everyone to know who puts on the uniform of law enforcement every day that President Trump and I stand with you.
It brings me to, the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that America witnessed, during which an American man was tortured and killed under the knee of an armed, uniformed police officer.
There's no excuse for what happened to George Floyd, and justice will be served. But there's also no excuse for the rioting and looting that followed.
We need reform of our policing in America and our criminal justice system, which is why Joe and I will immediately ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if we did that.
You've refused to answer the question. Joe Biden has refused to answer the question. So I think the American people would really like to know, if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed to the Supreme Court of the United States, are you and Joe Biden, if somehow you win this election, going to pack the Supreme Court to get your way?
Wow, I tell you, this is something else. You're watching Sister Talk TV show. For those who are just tuning in, we're here talking about the debate and other hot topics that is going on in this country. And with me is Star Davis, editor and CEO and founder of UCAN Magazine. Wow, that was karma. That was karma. You did get a little bit of information. But like you said, it was kind of boring also. But I'm not going to go there with the fly. We got to get this out the way first. But
Fly stole the show.
So, yeah, he did. But they talked about COVID. They talked about the economy. But there still was not a plan. I did not hear that at all.
No. And instead, it seemed like a bunch of accusations. Again, more hypocrisy from the GOP side. So Pence, tried to corner Harris on, are you going to try to pack the Supreme Court if you win the election? And I think she was very poised, because what somebody could have said was, like you're trying to ram through a justice now?
Yes.
She could have turned around and answered like that, but she didn't. And I don't know why she didn't. That would have been kind of cool if she did.
That would have been kind of cool. Also, she talked about the COVID, the pandemic department, that Obama put in place before he left. And she did talk about how they just dismantled that. That's what he got out. But his response, his response was just so
I think, again, I hate to make it this partisan thing, but so far from what we have seen, especially in this particular administration, especially, they come in and they make up their own narrative. So yes, Obama left a whole plan in place of what to do in case there is a pandemic.
Right.
Trump just went and totally dismantled the office, got rid of the office, took it off the website, all of that. But then now they want to say, oh, but that's not true. No, there was no plan left for us. No, that's not true.
They kept going back and forth.
They write their own narratives.
She did point out that January 28th, sometime in January, Trump did know about. He did know about the pandemic. The pandemic was coming.
Tapes.
There are tapes about that, But I think their excuse now is that he did not want, and he said that in the tape, he did not want America to panic.
BS.
Yeah, it is. But I kind of wonder what else is out there that we don't know about, because there are people that supposedly are dying from the COVID, but they are dying from
10,000 have already died.
But there's also people that are dying for unknown reasons. You understand? People that had been horribly sick, and they went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "No, you don't have COVID," but it was something else they couldn't identify. But they just went on and labeled that. So by him saying that, and the guy video, recorded that, that left in my mind, what else is going on out there that we don't know about? I'm just thinking like that.
Again, this administration there's no transparency in this administration. They don't want to, even the doctor who is technically being paid by us, the taxpayer, all of this healthcare, this premium healthcare that Trump is getting now, this is actually a socialist model, by the way. Seems like socialism is good for Republicans, but somehow it's terrible for everybody else, right? But that's all being paid for by us.
And we have to pay it back, yes.
So technically, the doctor works for us, and he should give us an accurate account of how the leader of this country is doing, and they're not even transparent with that.
He is getting away with so much.
Like you say, there's a lot out there we don't know because they're not transparent.
The economy. I mean, this is what they're saying, maybe worse than the Depression. What is it, 40 million people are out of work and still counting?
I know it's in the tens of millions.
Tens of millions, yeah.
I think 20 million applied for unemployment last month.
And he has this obsession with Obama tearing down everything that he had put in place, even if it benefits the country. He has this obsession with just tearing it down. But you know what's so funny? Not so funny. It's not funny at all. That he has COVID himself. Diagnosed with COVID himself. Now they are labeling the White House as a COVID cesspool. That is so. You know what is really kind of pitiful, and I feel very sorry for the staff that works there.
Yeah.
They have to be up and down those stairs and elevators.
I mean, they are coming in contact with the man who is ill. So he is infectious. He is contagious. And then he rips off his mask.
And everybody around him. Kellyanne.
Stephen Miller.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. But he's sick too.
Those people
all
that have
them.
COVID.
Yeah.
And also he's on some type of trial medication.
Yeah, well, they put him on that dexamethasone, and they give that to people when they're really ill. That's a steroid. That's not something they give to somebody when they have a slight case of coronavirus. That's what they give to people who are really sick. So for them, when I heard them mention that, I was like, oh, okay, Trump is trying to make it sound like he's a lot better than he really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they start bringing the steroids into it, that's really serious.
Yeah.
And there was this interview that he had on Fox News with his buddy Sean Hannity, and he was clearing his throat the whole time, and he was coughing the whole time, and he couldn't get out a full sentence without either coughing or sniffling or
This was Trump.
Trump.
I thought that was Giuliani. But yeah.
Giuliani too. Oh, another one.
Yeah.
Well, no, was he diagnosed?
You know, I don't see him taking the test, to be honest. I want to shout out to the Bronx Network out there. Hey, how y'all doing? We're still here. Thank you for tuning in. But we are talking about Trump and Biden debate and so forth. Well, not Trump and Biden, but Spence and
Harris and Pence.
Let's do that over. It's going to be cut out. So we are talking about Harris and Pence. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Bronx out there. Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Hey, the Bronx, the Bronx.
Yeah, so, you know, we have the Proud Boys who did not denounce that. They did not talk about Breonna Taylor. Trump did not denounce the white supremacists.
Trump
is... And she said that, too. She said that.
Yeah, I mean...
Kamala said that.
Trump has even gotten to the point where he is now blaming military families for giving him COVID.
You know something?
So he has no respect for the military. Oh, you know, they want to come up to you. They want to kiss me. They want to...
Well, you know, COVID does that to you. COVID affects your mind.
That's not COVID affecting his mind.
That's him.
That's just him being a jerk.
But, you know, Nancy Pelosi is trying to evoke the 25th Amendment. She's working on that now. But somebody else said, I was reading on Facebook, they think it's all a ploy. They think it's a distraction of what they are doing behind our back. They're signing some documents that we don't know about because they are distracting. Trump is a very smart man. He's very conniving. He's good at distraction. And we don't know. We just don't know what's going on. But hey, we're about to take a video
Everyone
break.
should celebrate their culture. But even now, you know, it's more important with that orange man in the White House that we let it be known what this country is, what America is. We just had 1619, 400 years of the first enslaved Africans to come over, and what that actually meant to the country. Without the presence of African Americans, the country wouldn't be what it is. And so I think it's important to make sure that we never forget that.
You're leading the posse. I love this parade. I really just love it. It's very special. Like I said, it's in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful community. Harlem rocks. Next year's a renaissance. Couldn't be better. How do you feel at this moment, though? I feel very honored I feel very, very honored, and I also feel like this really is a community that I love and everybody loves. It's a very special place. Thank you so much.
Executive producer of Sistah Talk TV show at the the 50th African American Day Festival here in Harlem. Standing with me is none other than the Honorable Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. Eric, how you doing?
Good, brother, good, brother. We go so far back. His mother used to babysit me when I was a little snot-nosed kid running around creating havoc. Now I'm a snot-nosed adult creating havoc.
Big thing is Trump.
Yes.
On the horizon.
Right.
Next year in 2020. What do we have to do to get this man out of office?
It's easy. I've never seen a more low-hanging fruit item to get him out of office. It's just vote. You know, we vote, call your loved ones down south. Everyone knows someone somewhere. Call them, tell them to get to the poll and look at the swing states and make sure people come out and participate in the vote in action. We could get them out instantly. This is not complicated. This is not one of those things you have to be a rocket scientist or a surgeon. All you have to do is be a determined American, go to the poll, get them out, and then let's move forward to 2021. It has been 20 years since we had a mayor of color. It's time to bring some chocolate back to City Hall.
There you go. Talking to you to the next mayor of New York.
Hi, this is DIETRA KELSEY, host of Sistah Talk TV show. I'm here with the DA, Darcel Clark. Hi, how you doing? I'm good, I'm good. How does it feel to be a Grand Marshal in the African American Day Parade? It is such an honor. You know, 50 years of this parade, but so many years of hard work and dedication and just the legend of Harlem itself. I'm just so happy to be a part of it today. I'm happy for you to be here too. Thank you, thank you. Stay tuned. Bye.
Hey, this is DIETRA KELSEY, host of Sistah Talk TV show. I'm here with the Sistahs at the African American Day Parade 50th anniversary. Hey, who are you all? You're from Harlem?
We're actually from upstate almost, actually near the Catskills. Came all the way down to celebrate, also to support the Trojan band coming in from Virginia State.
President Ruben Diaz. This is DIETRA from Sistah Talk TV show.
Yes.
How is it important for you to be here today?
It's important because we need to celebrate all of the great contributions culturally, musically, civically that Harlem has done for us. When you look at the African American community and its leadership throughout the city of New York, it is important for someone like me who's Puerto Rican to be here so that we can let Latinos know that we're African American of the African American diaspora too. Remember, if you dance to salsa, bomba, merengue, plena, or bachata, we do so with African instruments. So I'm out here representing.
Okay, thank you so much.
That we will succeed, and it's important that everyone participate in session and never be afraid, because no one is above the law. And because Harlem has been here before, and it's critically important that we show Washington D.C. Power! Power! Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Why is it important that you be an African American parade?
It's really critically important that we show our power, and that it's important to understand that given the legacy of African American individuals, that is part of my DNA. I'm not afraid of no one. I'm only afraid of one higher power. And so it's important that everyone get out to vote, everyone be a part of the census, and everyone rise up and resist.
Kelsey from Sistah Talk TV show. I'm with Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer, at the African American Day 50th Parade celebration.
And we're great to be here on Sistah Talk. This is one of the great communities, not just of America, but of the world. This community keeps fighting for dignity, for justice, for equality. We ain't giving up until we dump Trump.
So I'm back, Sistah Talk TV show. I'm DIETRA KELSEY, and right here is Star Davis. And we're going to continue our conversation about what's happening in our world. And basically, we're going to finish up with COVID. COVID is still spreading. First, we had it a little bit under control. Now it's spreading. Why do you think that's it? Why? What's the reason for all that now?
Because there are a lot of people who are not following rules. So now you have these hot spots in Queens, in Brooklyn, up in Rockland County, mostly these very ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities who gather in like massive numbers, who don't wear masks. And
so this is for funerals, right? Or just something else?
I think it's not just for funerals, but I think they recently had their New Year. I think it's just for a lot of different religious celebrations. And they don't follow rules. So they're coming together in these massive numbers. They're not wearing masks. And the virus is spreading.
And Cuomo is thinking about just shutting them down, giving them fines.
Well, they finally started doing that. Now, what I thought was very interesting, you saw on the news the other night where they had just these huge numbers of people in the streets, but I didn't see police kind of hoarding them together or forcing them to disperse or making them go home or anything like that. Certainly no arrests. I didn't see any police in riot gear, even though it was this like amazing number of people. But I just feel like if they would follow the rules more, that will lessen the spread.
Right. You know, this COVID is just a beast. It is real. I don't care what people say. It is real. I lost 3 people in my family.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
But thank you. But it's real, and I don't see why people are not taking precautions. I guess because it's not happening to them personally. But hey, we have to move on. The Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett. Now, there's a lot of protests. Mitch McConnell, he wants to just try to move it on, try to get it there. There are people who say there's so much at stake. Overturning abortion, affordable care, the Affordable Care Act, which is known as the Obama Health Care.
Obamacare?
Yeah, and LGBTQ rights. Now, for abortion, I don't think it's going to be totally 100% overturned. I think it's going to be some restrictions on it. That's what I'm looking at. Mainly because it's a big business. I have my opinions on abortion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think honestly, again, and I don't mean to make it about a certain part of the population, but the birth rate for a lot of people has gone down.
Yes.
And not as many people are having children as had in the past.
Yeah.
So abortion, I honestly, personally, and say whatever you want, I have a cousin who is very religious and some family members who are very religious who are against abortion because of religious reasons. And I believe what they say. But I believe a lot of the people who are not for abortion, I don't believe it's for real religious reasons. Oh, it's a life. Don't take away a life. I just don't find them to be sincere in that sentiment. Because if they were, again, I don't know about the children in cages on the border, but I have a feeling those detention centers are still full.
Well,
and nobody is talking about the value of those lives.
Well, here's my issue with the abortion. Just bear with me, you all. I just think that there's a lot of us, a lot of women in our community that are having it, and I think they really go after us. They market towards us. That's how I feel about it. I think it's a little bit extreme when you can have an abortion up to 9 months. I think that,
Wow. But
I think that's a little bit extreme.
I just, again,
Yeah,
what woman would carry a pregnancy so far into the term to then say, oh, you know what, I changed my mind. I just don't see that happening.
But it's there. But it can't happen. But it's there.
But okay, as a woman yourself,
they're doing that. They're doing
as
that
a woman
in China,
yourself,
though. Go ahead.
if you think, right, you're pregnant, and you decide you don't want it, isn't that something you would decide like early on?
The whole idea, we just don't know what the human mind is capable of.
No,
the decisions that they make.
Again, I would turn it this way.
Okay.
I would turn it this way. For a woman to have an abortion that late in the pregnancy, I think something would have to be seriously wrong with
that could be
the baby or with her health.
But there's
I just
no
don't
restrictions like that. And anything can be anything. It could be a young person. It just doesn't have to be a grown woman. It could be a young person. It could be anything. She could be forced to do it because of pressure of her family, of not being married or what have you. We have a whole lot of cultures living in the U.S. of A. Right now. So there's a lot going on. I just think that's a little bit too extreme. I do believe life begins at conception. But at the same time, women are going to have an abortion. If so, I would like for it to be safe. That's how I feel.
Well, I mean, so based on what you're saying, it is safe now.
Yeah,
even up until 9 months. Now, you may not agree, and I may not agree that, wow, that's a terrible time for a woman to decide to terminate a pregnancy so far into it. But like you say, there are many reasons.
Even 6 months, even 4 months, I think.
But I think the bottom line, though, is that as women, we have a right to do whatever we need to do for whatever reasons with our own bodies. And there should be no reason why some old ass men who can never get pregnant,
but there are women who are doing that,
sitting there
especially
legislating.
Amy Coney Barrett. Barrett. She's, from what I read, I mean, she's pro-life. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be overturned. I think it's going to be some restrictions. And I'm all for a woman's health. You know, I would rather it to be safe than them getting it in some type of back alley or a barbershop somewhere. You know, so so the Affordable Care Act, that's another one that may be dismantled. You know, that's Trump's mission. That's why he's putting all these conservative, extremist conservative. And I believe when he's interviewing them, he's telling them what he wants. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, this
absolutely.
I believe that's going to be a factor. The LGBTQ community, you know, their same-sex marriage may be overturned. Clarence Thomas, Justice Clarence Thomas. I mean, he made some comment about it being overturned lately. So this woman, Amy Coney Barrett, I don't know. She seemed to be all
a
for
brilliant
paternity.
scholar.
This is what they say.
Graduated Notre Dame Law School.
A brilliant scholar. Okay.
No, but I mean, that says something, right? She's not an idiot.
Yeah.
Graduated magna cum laude.
Yeah.
From Notre Dame Law School.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal. But yeah, her views are what is in line with the people who are in power now.
Right.
So in spite of, and here we go again with the hypocrisy. Now, when Obama had almost a year left in office, Mitch McConnell was the first one to say, "Oh, he's a lame duck president. Why would you appoint us? Why would we allow him to appoint a justice to the court when he's, in his last year? He had almost a year left. Now we are in an election now. People in the country are voting now, and all of a sudden, it's okay to ram through a justice for a lifetime appointment with 26 days left before election day.
Yeah.
So
and it
more
may
hypocrisy.
Happen. It looks like may happen. I hope not. I hope not.
I'm just never gonna say never. And with this COVID circling around the White House like that, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope. I'm not gonna say never.
Okay, let's go to the plot. The big plot to kidnap Michigan Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer. That is some.
What was that?
So
you got 6 crazy white supremacists.
Well, 13 people were charged.
Okay, but 6 specifically whose pictures I saw.
Right. Okay.
So they were putting together money to buy explosive material.
They were serious.
They wanted
too.
to blow up the Capitol. They had started stockpiling weapons. And then they wanted to put the governor on trial. Now, what kind of trial did they want to put this governor on?
This it sounds like some Jim Jones stuff going on here. But they were called the Wolverine Watchmen. And
that's scary.
She thanked the FBI and everything like that, and only the Trump's response was, "She didn't thank me."
But he was the one who incited that with his tweet talking about liberate Michigan. So the screwballs and wingnuts who follow him are going to read that as what they did.
Right.
And those 6 people who are who have been charged with this, that's exactly how they read into it. They set out to quote unquote liberate Michigan.
This is something else. This is really, if you think they thought they were going to get away with it. But think about it. If they had done that to her, what do you think they would have done to somebody like us or other people that don't look like them? And this man in office is just like.
But he's inciting it.
He's inciting it, yeah.
To tell the Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
It's him and his disciples, yeah.
That's a dog whistle.
Right.
And they took it as such. So even now, okay, another subject. Tim
That's
Scott,
very interesting.
the only black senator, right, from South Carolina, I believe. Is he from South Carolina? I think he is. Anyway, he said that he thinks Trump misspoke. Now, Trump has since doubled down on that. So I want to know, where are the reporters going to Tim Scott now saying, okay, well, apparently he did not misspeak. So what do you have to say about him refusing to denounce white supremacy now? I'm looking for some reporters to kind of follow up on, go back around, to I don't know. It just proves that they're racist, they're hypocrites. The people who are in this administration now.
Well, let's talk about the protests. I know Pence said that there's a lot of looting going on. There's a lot of violence going on. When I look at the Black Lives Matter, I do see a lot of white people involved in that. I see more white people than black people at times. And so, I'm not sure what they are referring to. White people are getting killed. And from what I understand now, they're saying white people been getting killed. Maybe the proportion of blacks is just higher for us, to be getting killed. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I've heard some people say, oh, but police, since we're talking about the protest people seem to forget is about police brutality toward black people. I've heard people say, well, more white people get killed by police than black people. And maybe in numbers that is true, but as far as the percentage of their killings is, and in relation to the population, far more blacks are in danger of being killed by police than whites any day. So that's kind of hogwash when you hear that. And as far as, I heard one time Meghan McCain say on The View, well, let's talk about the 7% of looters and rioters. I wouldn't want to get on a plane if it had a 7% chance of crashing. This is what she said. I heard her say this myself. Again, I think that's insightful because 93% of these protests are peaceful. And the 7% of the people who are looting and burning, a lot of these people aren't even from the community.
They're agitators.
Yes, they come in and they incite these acts and they loot these stores. And yes, there have been some people from the community as well, but a lot of them are not.
Yeah, I saw videos of this group of people. They were in a car. They were passing out bricks to black men.
They would leave stacks of bricks there in front of stores for people to come and pick up and throw in windows. They would go in black communities and graffiti around BLM, and a lot of people weren't even involved in that movement. A lot of looters would come who would be white and who would paint themselves in blackface and then go loot. So if you looked at a video, your first thought would be, oh, it's somebody black who's doing it. So that 7% is not, I don't think it's accurate. And then if you want, like Meghan McCain said, she was upset that more was not being focused on that 7%. I think we need to break that 7% down and say, who exactly is this 7%?
Yeah, and it's probably 6.5%. That's not us. But anyway, the government officials, some government governors and senators, they're saying defund the police. Not government officials, community activists saying defund the police. What do you think about that? I think they should. I think that some of that money should go into community organizations.
Absolutely. A funny thing that somebody had said to me who was visiting from out of town, came into New York City and said, wow, there's so many different kind of police cars. And when you looked at it, you saw a police SUV, you saw a police van, you saw a police cruiser, and then I even saw a NYPD smart car. So if they have all of the money in this $6 billion budget to, fully equip police in riot gear and have all these different kind of cars and all these different kind of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've purchased them now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now you can use future monies for something else.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so also. I think when I was growing up, there was always something for me to do. Recreation, ballet. I was always in some type of activity, you know. The world has changed. Now you have to pay for this and pay for that. And a lot of people don't have the funds to do that. I think to defund the police, I can understand what people are saying. You know, there's still violence out there. And also, crime, so they say, has gone up since the pandemic has been involved. But also, we could defund the police, but also use that money to train the police to be more sensitive to people outside their community.
Absolutely.
Also have the police live in the community.
Absolutely.
Once upon a time, I believe it was like that, you know.
I also think, too, it's important. The cutoff age now to join the academy, if I remember correctly, is 35. So you hire these really young, inexperienced, they're not required to have college degrees. And then you give them this enormous amount of power to be able, first of all, they're licensed to kill. They're able to immediately take away somebody's freedom. But look at the people to whom you're giving this power. They're young, they're not that bright, oftentimes. I really think that if a person is older, but they can do the physical requirements of the academy, there should not be an age limit on being able to join the police academy. And I also believe that police officers should be required to have college degrees.
Yes.
If you're going to give somebody a gun,
so they could be more rounded.
Absolutely, absolutely, more exposed to other cultures, other ways of thinking. I remember watching a documentary on Netflix where a detective said he saw somebody with a KKK tattoo going through the police academy and graduating from the police academy.
Now, you know, he should not have even been filled out an application.
Not even for a second should he have been considered. Yeah. And graduated from the police academy with a visible KKK tattoo on his arm. So I think the guidelines for being able to join the academy should be totally revamped.
Okay, who do you think is going to win?
I am praying is Sleepy Joe.
We don't know who's going to win. I'm telling you, because when he ran the first time, 2016, against Hillary, I just remember the jokes, run, Trump, run. I remember all that, laughing and all that.
Oh, yes, so was I.
And he was suppostly behind in the polls.
Yep.
And lo and behold, he won. We don't know what's going to happen, do we?
I'm very hesitant to answer that question. I know who I hope wins.
Right.
But again, you see how there have been all of these attempts to suppress votes.
You know something? I think that is really in God's hands. It's really
a lot of praying to be done.
A lot of praying to be done. Some people don't think it's going to be all that bad. Some people say nothing has changed for them since Trump has been in office, except COVID. But people are thinking that it's not going to be all that bad. But hey, I feel just watching my circumstances, the deaths of my family, and people losing their jobs, 40 million people, something has got to change. And this man ain't telling us nothing.
If you think that forming a militia and talking about kidnapping a governor is not change.
And he hasn't denounced it at all.
No, nothing. But people saying, but things have not changed. That you have people, hate groups, who feel strengthened and emboldened and empowered to get out there and chant this racism all over, from Charlottesville to now they want to kidnap a governor, to just all sorts of people who now feel powerful to be able to do that. So yes, I think this country has changed since Trump has been in the White House, and it's changed for the worse.
Okay, all right. here's my 2 cents on this. Like I said earlier, we've been doing Sister Talk TV show for about 10 years. 2020 will be our 10th year.
Congratulations.
And we've seen a lot. We have had all sorts of people. We've had Republicans, we have Democrats, we have had entertainment, we have had, you name it, we've probably done it. What I have learned from being on Sister Talk during this pandemic is that it's not the officials that have the power. It's us, the people. The people have the power. Okay? So, yes, Trump was put into office mainly because some didn't vote, and some, we were sleeping, a lot of us were sleeping, and they made it through the polls, and they voted without taking the survey. And they did that. I see 4 more minutes. They did that. Again, the power is within us, the God in you. It's this pandemic, this stillness, this moment of pause is to reflect and come out of this a better person. If you really believe that this man in the White House is going to try to unite us, I don't know what to say, but I do not believe that at all. Thank you, Star Davis, for coming on the show. How can someone get in contact with you?
You can write to me, ucanmagazine@gmail.com, and either I or someone on the team will get back to you.
All right. Thank you, Stanley Mitchell, for coming through, our #1 crew person. And also Carla and Tiffany in the crew room. They handle it by themselves. Thank you so much. Thank you, Firehouse, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, the Firehouse. Thank you for letting us use your facilities to broadcast Sister Talk TV show. And lastly, thank you, ZAKKEE Z Starman, the main man, a CEO and founder of Sister Talk TV show. This is Sister Talk TV show. I'm DIETRA Kelsey. Remember to vote. And also, I'm wishing you peace, love, and remember, stay in the light.
When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing. Sister Talk. No matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister Talk. If you ever feel